Hi! We are back for a new tutorial about the quick shortcuts to do the modeling faster. So we go to the Blender interface. Okay, we have the cube. So I press Tab to edit the cube. If you want, you can change the vertices, so you press 1. You can press 2 for the segment and 3 for the faces. You can also zoom to the object. So I go to the object mode, I press the point to zoom. You can do some cuts with Ctrl R. So I press Ctrl R and you can do some cuts. If you press Ctrl, it will be by increment, as you can see on the top. We can do a dome without doing a boolean with a cube and a sphere. We can do that directly. I will show you how you can do that. I go with the face mode, I select the face here and I will scale like this to have something smaller. Okay. After I select the segment here, so I press Alt to have all the selection around like this, and I press Ctrl B to do a nice transition like this. And after I can change the number of the parameter here, as you can see. Okay, and after I can take the face here and we can do a collapse of the vertices. We select the face and we can go to the mesh and we can do merge at center like this. And now if I can apply a modifier on this, I can do the subdivision surface, and as you can see, it's a nice rounded. After I can do some cut with Ctrl R at the base to have the base more sharpened. And we can right click and make a shade auto smooth like this. The other stuff that we can do, it's duplicate the cube. We have two methods. We can do the Shift D for the duplication. So I select here, I press Shift D, enter. I can press G and I will move that on the Y-axis. If I edit this cube and I press G, nothing changed here because we do a Shift D. I take the cube and I press Alt D now. I press G and I move to the Y-axis. So now, if I change here, my cube is reference to this original cube. So it means I change something, it will be the reflect on the other cube. So two shortcuts. Shift D, it's a copy of the object, but it's independent. And Alt D, it's dependent of the other object. Okay, we can move to other shortcuts. So I press Tab. I select all the vertices on the top like this. Don't forget to be in X-ray if you have vertices behind that you don't see, but here we see all the vertices. We do a scale with S, and now I want to block the Y-axis, so I press Shift Y. As you can see, the Y will be in red, and I can constrain only in Z and X, as you can see here. Okay, another tip. I have the cube. I will do Shift D to do a copy. I press G, Y, okay. And after I take this cube and I want to isolate, so I press the slash. And it will be in the isolate mode. I press Tab. So now, as you can see, I work only on this cube. I press Tab and I press slash again to go back to the normal mode. If you want to hide the face, I go to edit mode, I press the face and I can press H to hide the face. If you want to display again all the face, you press Alt H. Two shortcuts to know is Shift A to add a new object on the scene, and also Shift S to have the snap tool menu. For example, if I go to this cube, I press Tab, I press the segment, I want to have the cursor on this, so I press Shift S and I press cursor to select it, and it's on this segment in the middle. It means if I want to add an object, I press Shift A, Mesh, Cube, and it will be added here. I will reduce the cube here just for the demonstration, and you have the small cube in the middle here. If I want to activate the snapping, we can watch this on the front view, and I press G. You see there is no snapping. If I press Shift Tab, you can snap directly to the grid here like this. And if you want unactivate, you press Shift Tab again. If you want to snap with the move, you press G and you press Ctrl and it will snap directly. Okay, we have the numeric option, so if you press N, you can have the numeric option. If you want to increment this, you can click on this. But if you see, I press Shift now, it will be more precise. So you will see the increment is more small. If I don't press Shift, it will be like this. And if I press Ctrl, it will be just by unit. Okay, the selection now. I press Tab. I select the face. If I want to select more face, I press Ctrl plus, like this. And it will select all around. And Ctrl plus again. If you add an object, you can press Shift A, but it will be independent from this object. Now I want the object in the same object, so I press the Edit mode with Tab. I press Shift A, and I will add another cube. The cube is inside the other cube, so I press G to move that, as you can see here. After, I can press Scale like this. Okay, we have two cubes in one. How can I select only this cube? I press a face here and I press L to have the linked faces like this. Another tip, if you have this cube, you can press Tab and you can press one vertex, and you can press A if you want to select all the vertices. If you want to merge 2 points, I select 2 points and I press M. Like this. You have this cube, I go to the Edit mode with Tab. I want to extrude, I click on the face here, I press E, and I can extrude. You can put also a value, like 2, Enter. You can also change the direction. I press E. You see this is on the Z-axis. It's okay, so I press Enter. I select these two faces, I press E, and you see this is automatically on the blue axis, it means the Z. But if you want that on the X, you press X, for example, like this. Okay, we want other shortcuts, so I press Tab here. I press Ctrl R, and with the scroll, I can see how many cuts I want. Ctrl R, and right click. You can do some cut with the knife, so I press K. I use like this, and I press Enter to confirm. Another tip, if I don't have faces, for example here, I want to fill that, so I go here, I select the vertices that I want here with Shift, and I press F to fill the gap. If you want to do a bevel of the vertex, you select the vertices and you can press Ctrl Shift B, so you add the shift like this. Okay, I want to have some selection here, so I press Alt and I click here. You see all the lines are selected here, but if I want something else, so I click here and do Shift. I can do Ctrl Shift here, and it will add all the edge that you see here. So for example, I want to select this until there, I press Ctrl Shift here. If you go to the object, you can right click on the object and you can do the snap directly here. As you can see, you have the option here below. If you want to see the wireframe mode, I press Z. And I press Z again to select the solid mode. And finally, we will see the inset in edit mode. I select this face, I press I, and after I can do an inset like this. I can do an extrusion on the Z axis. It's already on the Z because you see the blue. It's not the case, you can press Z. And last tips, here I select these things. I do an extrusion with E. And I want that of 1. I press enter. All the tips that we have seen can be applied on the edge, on the vertices also. I will show you quickly here. So I select this segment and this segment and can press G and Z to move the segment. I can do a scale like this with S, as you can see here. Okay, we have finished the tutorial. We have seen a lot of shortcuts. I hope it will help you to go faster in the modeling. And we can see us for another tutorial in the next video. See you, bye.